So much of the seabed is completely undocumented, and as soon as you move into the Arctic, it becomes less documented than other areas. And then when you start to look at the deep sea, that is even less documented. You're in a cold, dark place. The logistics of how to do those primary surveys, it just becomes expensive and time consuming and difficult. And so this kind of primary research, even though we've been doing these camera surveys for a decade now, we've barely looked at a tiny fraction of 1% of the seabed. What's there? Where is it? We're not going to get to a position where we've looked at everything. And so the more we know about the small number of places that we have looked at, the better our estimates are at predicting where else these vulnerable habitats are and are going to be. A lot of our work is driven by or in partnership with fisheries, and they're interested in seeing the seabed on and around where these fisheries are operating so that we can document the habitats that are in those areas. We are trying to look at the impact of climate change on the seabed and the wider marine ecosystems, and so one way we're doing that is by this primary mapping of where species and habitats are, enable us to assess the environmental conditions where we find these organisms. But we also have predictions of how the environment is going to change. We have future temperature predictions, and then we can make estimates of, okay, well, this is living in this area, but half of this area might not be suitable from a kind of temperature perspective in 50 years' time. And then that kind of informs our conservation efforts to say, okay, do we want to be putting protected area around here if it's not going to be suitable for this habitat anymore? And we can then look at which are more under threat populations that we might want to monitor to see the effect of these changes.